Hey guys, today we're going to talk about French macaroons, and specifically 4th of July French macaroons. I made this macaroon with the red on one side and the blue on the other side, and it has a buttercream filling with some 4th of July sprinkles on it. So here's our 4th of July macaroon. So I am making some French macaroons. The first step is to take almond flour, 1 cup of almond flour, and 1½ cups of powdered sugar. I'm beating 3 room temperature egg whites, along with a 1/4 teaspoon of cream of tartar, 1/8 teaspoon of salt, and a 1/4 teaspoon of granulated sugar. Beat this until it has very stiff peaks. So the egg whites and the sugar have formed a stiff peak now. You can see how it makes a stiff peak when it separates from the batter. And I've already split out my almond flour and powdered sugar into 2 bowls because I'm going to color one of them with a red paste and one of them with a blue paste, as long as it's a gel and not liquid. The other thing I have ready are my parchment lined paper on top of the pans here, and I printed off these templates that are underneath from the internet, and I have my piping bag ready as well. I used the number 12 round tip, but you could even cut out parchment bags and use it from that, as long as it does a circular shape. I have added the egg whites to the almond flour. All I'm going to do is simply fold it in, which is what I've started doing with this one. So you just scrape the bowl and just kind of cut through it. You do this until it gets a little more incorporated, and then we're going to add our food color and stir it again until it forms a ribbon. And I'll show you what that looks like, because right now it just kind of clumps down when it falls, and that's not what you want. You want it to be a smooth ribbon when it falls off the spoon. Okay, so this one we have stirred in our blue food coloring, and as you stir it you can see that it kind of makes a ribbon as it falls into the bowl. This one here, we've added some red food coloring, and it's not quite ready. As you can see, it's still kind of clumpy. It doesn't fall in a smooth ribbon. So we're going to stir this one in a little bit more, fold that in a little bit more. This one, we're going to get ready to put in our piping bag and make out the macaroon. Alright, so I have the blue ready to pipe, and I'm simply going to make a circle and fill it in to the design that's underneath the parchment paper. And I'll do this for about 20 of each color. Gives me about 40 cookies per color, or total 20 each. So once these are all laid out, you can see some of the air bubbles there. So I'm going to give the pan a tap from a few sides to get the air bubbles out, and I might even take a little toothpick and pop a few of the little air bubbles before they dry. It takes about 30 minutes for them to dry, but I like to wait about 45 minutes just so they don't crack when they're baking in the oven. These are the blue macaroons that have finished baking. They baked at 300 degrees for 16 minutes. They started to get just a little brown on the top, so I put a big pan on top of the rack they were on. And you can see that they started to get their little feet as well, which they get after they rest for 45 minutes. If you cook them right away, they don't rise up and get those feet that they're famous for. So these are all ready. They're just cooling. If I had undercooked them, then they would stick really bad to the parchment paper. So you want to make sure that they are done and not undercooked as well. Okay, so the macaroons have now dried. I've turned them all over and paired them up with 1 red and 1 blue together, and I've put some icing on some of these. So I put the lid on, and then what I did after that is I dipped them in some sprinkles that I have right here, and ended up making some red, white, and blue 4th of July cookies. So you can kind of see the finished product.